Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray, and thank you for watching. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, leave a like, and feel free to comment down below what you would like me to do for future anime and cartoon-related videos. So today, we are talking about Tower of God Season 1, Episode 6, and we got a lot more information, which was delightful, because everything's kind of finally getting explained to us. Bam finally wakes up, thank God, even though he's kind of late to the party. But Bam is awake. Rachel actually talked to Kun and was like, look, I don't want you to tell Bam that I'm actually Rachel, because we basically were each other's own weaknesses, so we really shouldn't be doing this together. And even one of the rules is that you're not supposed to know who is who in the tower, because then you become each other's weaknesses, which is very bad. My guess is that is going to play in part somewhere at some point where it's probably going to be like, oh, one team finally made it to the end, but only one of them could actually be a ranker, so they have to defeat the other two in order to become a ranker and get to the top floor of the tower, but we'll wait and see what happens with that. We learned that there are 5 categories of fighters, which I'm probably going to forget. There's a fisherman, there's Shinshui, there's light, there's spear, and there is a scout. So the Shinshui is kind of like the magic water dude with the crazy force powers that Bam did last episode. That's what he is. Kun is a light bearer. Rax is a spear bearer. So no fisherman and no scout in their team. Anak is a fisherman. Hoku or Hokai. He is a scout along with, I'm going to call him Kuwabara because I'm forgetting his name. I think it's Shinshubi. They are both scouts, and part of theirs was to look for friends. Bam's was to sign a contract, and he signed a contract with some sort of crazy demon-looking thing. It looked very similar, except a lot larger, to that giant monster creature in the very first episode that he had to defeat. But other than that, who knows? The monster said there's going to be more of a burden for him, more of a shackle. So my guess is that he already has the ability to use it without a contract, which is extremely rare. So by getting a contract, he's actually weakening his abilities to use it, which is probably what all of the rankers and administrators of this tower want, because they want him to be able to be in control and to be a regularity as opposed to an irregularity, even though he is technically an irregular. We also learned about the Jihad princesses, which was delightful. The one that was pairing Aniso, I believe her name is, the one that is in the team with Rachel and the other tall guy whose name we do not get. He is also a spear bearer as well, the crazy big buff tall dude. We learned that she is a princess of Jihad, and basically what that means is you were selected from a clan and you were very powerful and are going to be a representation of that clan, and are going to basically become a ranker, climb the tower. That is kind of your goal. They're not actually blood related. We also learned that Anak is an imposter. We learned why she has been called an imposter, and the reason that is because her mother was actually a princess of Jihad, but she decided to, I don't know, maybe leave that life behind her and marry a chef. Fell in love with a chef, had Anak, and Anak basically took over her name, took over the fishing rod there, one of the 13 months, which is one of the 13 weapons that was created by the king of the tower, whose name we do not know currently, and I guess they're very, very special weapons. She plans on collecting all of them and killing all of the Jihad princesses, because one of the princesses of Jihad, I guess, was told to kill both of them for whatever reason. They weren't meeting the king's rules, so she is not happy about that. So she is trying to pass off as her mother, when in reality we don't even know her actual name. So who knows? Also, what I thought was very interesting was Rachel. We don't know her actual name either, or possibly, because there was a little caption that said in the subtitles that when we went to her door that said Michelle Light. So I don't know if they mean she's a light bearer and her name is Michelle, that's your last name? Who freaking knows? I don't know what's going on with that. But I think Bam definitely saw through Khun's lie almost right away. He wasn't really believing it, but Khun did kind of revamp his lie to a little bit. And he was like, look, even if that was Rachel, she clearly doesn't want to be a team member with you right now because you're weak, you need to train and get strong, and maybe she'll finally want to be a team member with you, which I thought was definitely a great way to portray that without really hurting Bam's feelings. And all these other people are getting introduced to a few other characters in this episode. Bam was the only one really in the class that when he made the contract with Senshui, he showed some, like it was heavy. It was hard for him to do. The other characters played it off like nothing, but in reality, the one horn guy went back to his room. It really took a toll on him. He was very weak, very, down for the count, almost like he got punched in the gut or something. So my guess is that he realizes that Bam was very powerful and decided he was going to try to befriend him to help him climb further up the tower and see if he can finally get to the last spot. But we don't know. There is a long way to go. We're only on like level 4 at this point, and they're training right now. They're not actually climbing up the levels. They're all being put into their specific classes, getting trained, and then I'm assuming they will go on from there. We don't really know exactly what the classes are specifically for, or why they're specific classes of like fighters or I guess test takers, if you would like to call them. All we know is the spear guy is basically far away. There is the light bearer, who is very much computer oriented by what Khun was doing. You got Bam, so it's basically they control all the crazy water magic. The scouts apparently help the spear bearers and fishermen, and then you got the fishermen, which is your close combat people. So they're going to be the fighters. So what's interesting though is they don't have any close combat people, so we'll have to wait and see. And other people have swords and weapons that don't seem to reflect their name, so I'm wondering if they get taken away or they adapt to different things, or what the heck happens with that. We'll just have to wait and see and find out. I'm guessing each class has their own specific special power and special abilities, which is why they are introduced into that specific class. But definitely an enjoyable episode. I liked how they explained a lot, because the last 2 episodes I was very confused about the Jihad Princess thing. What was going on with the Nox past, a little bit about the class thing. I don't think I really knew too much about the class thing last episode. But since the Senshui thing with the contract and what the heck was going on that, but a lot of the stuff has been explained, and we're not fully caught up with all the information I probably wanted to know, but we're getting there, which is delightful. I hope Rachel and Bam get to see each other again and realize that they're good to go. I'm very curious as if they're going to separate the two. Bam got a new outfit, which is neat. It's very jumpsuit-esque, I guess is the way you could say it. That's what the thumbnail's going to be, probably, him in his new outfit. But I am definitely curious to see what the next test is going to be. My guess is the next episode, or even possibly 2, is going to be strictly training. But more than likely, it's just going to be next episode is going to be all about training, trying to further master that ability, and basically then they're going to probably end the episode right before they go on to the next test or something, is my guess, but who knows. I could see this being a very, very long series, because we're not that far up level wise. I think we're just barely getting to level 4, or is it 3? I'm already mixing up the levels. I believe we're on level 4. We're about 6 episodes into it, and we got 100 levels to go. So there is plenty of room for storyline, plenty of room for character development and growth. And I'm more curious about Anak than anybody. She seems like the most interesting character to me right now. She wants to hunt down all the Jihad princesses, kill them, take all of their weapons, and maybe even possibly go after the king himself. Who knows? But I'm sure she'll stick with the group for quite a while, and we'll just have to wait and see. She also has Bam's sword, said she's not going to give it back to him. But I have a little bit of a feeling, that Bam will eventually get that sword back. We'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.